What is going on, YouTube? PPS here, YouTube Play of the Day. We have one spot today for pretty nice slate, honestly. Monday's usually been shitty. We haven't had many good ones, but with conference tournament season coming around, tournaments are getting these games in a little bit earlier, right? Big Sky is usually a Tuesday conference. Who has their games are doing Monday because obviously the tournament's this weekend, so that's really, really exciting. One of my favorite conferences, the CAP. And a lot of good teams that I do really like to back, a lot of wagons in this conference. So let's recap. This is actually going to be our 100th play today because we did have two winners. Wright State over 158.5 cashes pretty easily. Shout out to Wright State, man. They have been so good to me all year. Sometimes you just got to say, hey, thank you. You guys have been awesome. And unfortunately, they're covered up by our 1.5 unit play because Kentucky just absolutely smashes with a 52-point first half. Felt really, really good on both those plays, and I'm happy they came through. So hopefully you guys have been tailing. Again, if you guys do want all my plays, obviously college basketball is going on this whole month. It's going to be crazy. And we're feeling pretty good about where we're at. Right now, 58, 41, 12.48 units on the season, guys, for college basketball exclusively. This is pick number 100. And if you would have told me we'd be 58 or 59% throughout the entire year on free plays, 100 picks in, I would be very happy with that. So without further ado, enough talking about that. Let's talk about some bets, right? We have one spot. I will be going to Northern Colorado. My boys, the Bears, baby, the Bears heading there to Northern Arizona for their final game of the regular season here. Really big game, guys. I mean, when you look at this spot, we saw a really nice first game with these guys, right? We saw a nice over hit there, but that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how both these teams need to win, right? You look at the conference standings. Northern Colorado is actually tied with three teams, and they're at the bottom with the tiebreak right now because of their overall record at 18-12. But they're tied with Weber State and Montana at 11-6. You look at Northern Arizona, they're tied with Idaho State and Portland State at 7-10 in the conference. So there's a big game for both teams, and I think you see it slow down a little bit in the second half. Like I said, most of these teams will, try is a big word in this conference because they don't really play any defense. Defenses are not good in this conference, to say the least. This is actually their, I believe, first game in conference was against these guys. So this is their first game and their last game matching up with Northern Arizona and Northern Colorado. I looked at that first game, and Northern Colorado shot lights out. They shot 11 for 20 from three. They shot 69% from the field. But seeing Northern Arizona be able to score that well, only shooting 47% from the field, Northern Colorado left 10 free throws on the board as well. They 13 for 23. Obviously, that is terrible. A lot of fouls, 34 fouls. That's not anything too crazy for a Big Sky game, but we saw a lot of possessions in that first one. I expect a lot better free throw shooting in this one. And I expect this game to play fast as it usually does. Northern Colorado, one of the better teams that I like to back in terms of first half. They average 37.6 points per game in the first half this year. That is top 40. Then if you want to go over to Arizona or Northern Arizona, they're about 35 per game in the first half at home. So numbers-wise, we're going to need a little bit better than usual, but that's what Northern Colorado's for, guys. They're the team that's going to carry this number because they're the team that wants to just run. And you gotta love that when you're backing these guys. Northern Colorado, 56 in tempo, 116 in adjusted offense, 298 adjusted defense. They don't really stop anybody. But when you look at this team, they have an absolute stud in St. Thomas, who didn't particularly play well in that first game, which is weird. He's usually obviously their best guy, but he came out after 6 minutes. So a mini injury there. And that's another thing. This team scored that many points without their best player. They scored 92 on these guys without their best player. And St. Thomas is 20 a game, almost averaging a double-double. So I expect this first half to soar over. I expect this game to move very quickly. And if you want to look at Northern Arizona side, they shot decently well from three in that first matchup against Northern Colorado, but they actually shoot 7% better at home from the three-point line. On the season, only 31%, but they're 35% at home versus 29% on the road. So really expect some good performances from that side in a must-win game for them as well. But if you think about it, Northern Colorado wins this, they could be the 2 seed in the tournament and not have to play Eastern Washington until the final. And that's obviously my 2 favorite teams in this conference. I'd love to back both, but having to not play them until the end is obviously a huge advantage. So really like this spot for Northern Colorado to smash over this first half number. Over 73 at -120. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, 100th pick of the season. Really excited to get after this one with you guys. We will have Pass the Prop here in a couple hours doing an MLB Futures show with our boy John Legeza. How can you not be excited about that? We are hyped up. I'm ready to go and give you guys some MLB action as well. Be on the lookout for an article today from your boy for the NBA slate. And also, if you want more picks from me, shoot me a DM over on Twitter. We'll try our best to get you into our chat, to get you in on all these plays throughout March. It's going to be a fun one. Thank you, guys. Hit that like button if you could. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll be back tomorrow with another round of YouTube play.